If you're on a diet and you're not losing weight, it's not completely your fault, and I'm going to tell you why in this video. What's up guys, Carlo Macapenlac here from newbiefitnessacademy.com. I help busy professionals look at shirtless so they can feel more confident and get the most out of their lives. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every time I post a new video every week. Okay, if you're dieting but you're not losing weight, I'm going to assume that you're following the classic eat less, move more diet advice, more commonly known as the calories in versus calories out model of weight loss, or you're in some form of a calorie deficit diet. And it's built around this idea that if you just cut the fat and eat a little less and move a little bit more, like exercise, and that's why I see people work out every day until the cows come home and twice on Sunday, right? Do that over time and you're gonna lose weight. At least that's how it's supposed to work. And almost everyone I know, including their dog, has tried this method of weight loss in some way, shape, or form, right? Problem is, the calories in versus calories out model has about a 99% failure rate, meaning it might work at the beginning, depending on how strictly you follow the diet, but then it stops working. You hit the dreaded weight loss plateau, you're hungry and tired all the time, you get frustrated, you blame yourself, and then you quit, even though you strictly follow the diet to a T. Sound familiar? And that's where a lot of people find themselves, right? I'm gonna tell you now that it's not entirely your fault. You have the right intentions, but you've simply been given the wrong information. Let me explain. So, the calories in versus calories out model, while technically true from a physics standpoint, is almost entirely dependent on the calories out part of the equation, and the calories in makes very little difference. And nobody talks about this part, and this is the calories in versus calories out model's biggest flaw, because reducing the calories in by eating less often reduces the calories out part of the equation. And we just make this false assumption that the calories out stay stable, but it doesn't. Your calories out, also known as your basal metabolic rate, or BMR, can actually go up or down by 30, 40, and as much as 50%. And nothing illustrates this more than studies done on the Biggest Loser contestants. You know, if you've ever seen the show, they just get on these massive calorie deficit diets, right? They're barely eating anything, and they do these crazy exercise programs, and it works at the beginning. They lose a ton of weight, and everyone's happy, right? The problem is, it's simply not sustainable. Over time, after they're done the show, they're still on this massive calorie deficit, and their metabolic rate just goes down the drain, and they stop losing weight, even though they're eating less than they ever did before. Sound familiar? Why do you think there's never any Biggest Loser reunion? Because most of them have gained back the weight they've lost while they were on the show. And the reason for this is there's really only two places that you can get your energy from. And this is the thing that a lot of experts out there that just tells you to cut calories don't talk about, is that your body actually functions as a two-compartment system. The calories in versus calories out model of weight loss needs your body to function as a single compartment system for it to be true. But again, it doesn't work that way. And the energy balance theory assumes that your body is a closed system. But it's not. It's an open system. And there are a million factors that affect the way you burn calories, from the temperature of the room you're standing in, to the body heat of people around you, how much sleep you got the night before, how much stress you're dealing with. All those things affect your metabolism. It would be completely naive to think that it's simply a matter of eating a little less and moving a little bit more. That is such an oversimplistic way to look at your body. Are you with me so far? Now, let's look at an example scenario. If you look at the energy that your body wants to expend just to keep you alive, like keep your brain active, keep your heart pumping, keep your organs functioning, which again is your basal metabolic rate. Let's call it BMR for short. Let's say your BMR is 2,000 calories. Well, there's two different places where you can get those 2,000 calories, right? You can get it from the foods that you eat, or you can get it from your fat source. It's an either or scenario. So the assumption is that if you go on a calorie deficit by eating less, by cutting fats from your diet because it's calorie dense, let's say you cut it to 1,500 calories because you want your summer body right away. You want the weight to come off fast. Literally the definition of crash dieting. You eat 1,500 calories worth of food. The idea, you hope, is that you'll make up the 500 calorie deficit from your fat source and your 2,000 calorie BMR stays stable, right? That's the idea. That's the dream. That's what we're all told to believe. And that's where things start to go sideways. Let me explain. So, 1 pound of fat is about 3,500 calories. And if you do some simple math with a daily 500 calorie deficit, that equates to 3,500 calories. Therefore, you're gonna lose a pound a week, and you're gonna lose 52 pounds in 1 year, and you're gonna weigh 0 pounds in a few years. Of course, if that was true, we'd all be models of health and we'd all be walking around with a six-pack. And this is the weight loss model, the calories in versus calories out model that we've been led to believe for decades. And almost everyone I know has followed this advice. They've done a calorie deficit diet, and it's almost never worked for anybody for a sustainable amount of time. That's why you hear people following X diet, you name it, but it just didn't work for them. Are you starting to see the problem here? And the key takeaway here is that your body sort of works like a railway switch. Imagine a train track where you have a fork in it. You can only go one of two directions, right? And the human body is much the same way. Again, you can either take your energy from the foods that you eat, or you can take your energy from your body fat. But you can't mix the two. You can't do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You either get it from one or the other. Using a railway analogy, you have to switch tracks from one to the other. And what controls this process? Well, the biggest determinant of this energy utilization process is the hormone insulin. Anytime you eat food, assuming it's a blend of fat, carbs, and protein, your insulin goes up. It's your body's natural reaction to all the food that's coming in. As your insulin goes up, you then turn off fat burning and you get your energy from the foods that you eat. It's kind of your body's natural survival mechanism to protect yourself during times when there's no food available, right? Back in the Paleolithic times, being able to tap into our fat stores is how we survived when our ancestors went through periods of time without food when they couldn't catch any animals. Are you with me so far? When you're not eating, that is when you're fasting, that's when your insulin levels go down. When there's no more food coming in, that's when you tap into your stored energy. And this is super important, so rewind this video for a few seconds if you have to really grasp that concept in your head. This is the reason, by the way, why you don't die in your sleep every night, or why you don't have to get out of bed to eat in the middle of the night. Because as your insulin falls, you switch over and you start to get your energy from your glycogen stores and your fat stores. Again, going back to our train analogy, this is when you switch railways. So it's a well-run system, assuming that you keep your fed state and your fasted state in balance. The problem is, we're anything but balanced. What do we do instead? We constantly throughout the day. We eat 6 small meals. We snack all the time. We graze on food all day. We eat a lot of foods that are highly insulin stimulating, like refined carbs and particularly sugar, and that's when we start developing something called insulin resistance, which then opens up Pandora's box to all sorts of disease, including diabetes, obesity, and cardiovascular disease. Remember that the one thing that blocks fat burning is high insulin levels. So sugar in particular, because it's highly insulin stimulating, is just absolutely toxic to your health. And that's kind of a generally accepted truth. The problem is, it's also very addicting, right? And what do we eat all the time? Instant oatmeal, breakfast cereal, granola bars, energy drinks, reduced fat foods, and so on. And this is the thing that you gotta remember. A high percentage of low-fat foods are often laced with hidden sugars. Because if you take out the fat, food companies have to replace it with something else to make it taste good. And that something else is sugar. So stop eating reduced fat versions of food and stop ordering skinny vanilla lattes. So, as you keep your insulin levels high, you've switched over to this track where you can only get your energy from the foods that you eat. Going back to why you're not losing weight, if you reduce the number of calories that you eat, but you eat all the time, and you keep your insulin levels high by eating refined carbs, sugars, diet sodas, and so on, what you do is you're gonna tell your body, we don't need to burn fat. Look at all this food coming in. You've now put yourself in a position where your insulin levels are high all the time, and you can only get your energy from the foods that you eat, right? Going back to our eat less, move more, calories in versus calories out weight loss model, if you eat 1,500 calories, you can only burn 1,500 calories. That is it. Listen, your body's super smart. It wants to survive. So what it does is it's forced to ramp down its metabolic rate instead. And nobody talks about this because as you start off, for example, with a BMR of 2,000 calories, then you go on a 1,500 calorie a day diet, your body senses that there's less energy coming in, then it matches it by turning down your metabolic rate to 1,500 calories or even lower. I mentioned this earlier that your metabolism can go up or down, right? This is why all diets work initially, by the way. They all work at the beginning as long as it puts you in a caloric deficit, but then you eventually hit the dreaded weight loss plateau and you stop losing weight because your metabolism has slowed down. So you're still eating 1,500 calories even though you're frustrated, so then you start eating 1,700 calories because you're tired of it. You're tired and you're hungry all the time. But here's the problem. Because you've lowered your BMR to 1,500 calories, 1,700 calories all of a sudden becomes a calorie surplus even though you're eating less than you did before when your BMR was initially at 2,000 calories. And you're gonna start gaining back the weight you worked so hard to get rid of. But then you must up enough energy and motivation. So you try again. This is the definition of yo-yo dieting, by the way. You lower your calories to 1,200, but you're eating constantly. You're eating lots of low-fat, low-calorie foods, which again, are high in sugar. Well, all of a sudden, your metabolic rate now has to go down to 1,200 calories. So now you're feeling cold. You have no energy. You're tired all the time. You're hungry all the time. And worse, you're not losing weight. Sound familiar? And as you do this a few times, you keep going down and down and down until people's metabolic rate gets very, very low. I even hear some people eating less than 1,000 calories a day, which is just madness. If you've ever gone on a diet, you follow it faithfully, but then you stop losing weight, and you actually start gaining it back, this is why. The good news is that your metabolic rate can go up as well. But again, the key determinant of that is insulin because you have to open up those stores of body fat for you to burn. Your body actually wants to burn more energy. It doesn't want to be cold and tired and hungry all the time. It wants to burn energy, and your job, if you want to lose weight and be healthy, is give your body access to your fat stores. So no matter what kind of diet you think is going to work best for you, you have to lower your insulin to lose body fat. And the best way to do that? Cut all refined carbs, sugar, artificial sweeteners, and start fasting intermittently. And you've heard me mention intermittent fasting on my channel, right? The problem is, it's 2019 and even mentioning the word fasting sends shockwaves around the planet. You immediately start hearing people say that there's all these problems with fasting and that it's bad for you, again, without any real evidence to back it up, as if you're gonna inflict permanent damage to your body if you even miss a single meal. Yet we're still given the standard cookie cutter advice up to this day of, eat lots of healthy whole grains, avoid foods high in saturated fat and cholesterol, eat lots of fruit, you should exercise 30 minutes a day, blah, 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 blah. That advice doesn't work, and I don't need to tell you that. You already know because you're watching this video. All that happens when you're fasting or when you take a break from eating, and that's how I want you to think about it, is that you allow your insulin levels to go down. And when your insulin level falls, your body gets a signal to start burning some of that stored energy from your last meal. That stored energy is in the form of glycogen or body fat. If you're trying to lose weight, this is exactly what you want. You have about 20,000 calories worth of stored energy in the form of body fat or more if you have a lot of weight to lose. That's what it's there for. It's not just there for looks. See this? This is energy. Check out my chicken wing. It's there for you to use if there's no food available. So all you're doing is you're giving your body a chance to use energy that's stored away for a rainy day. And that's your body fat. Eating a high fat, very low carb, and moderate protein diet also gives you similar benefits because it trains your body to become a fat burner. You have to understand that this is how we evolved to eat. Instead, we start doing these completely artificial things such as eating 6 meals a day, snacking all the time, eating highly processed low-fat and low-calorie foods. All we think about is food because we're like, I need to eat breakfast, then it's time for a mid-morning snack, then it's lunchtime, then it's time for another snack, and then you drink your pre- and post-workout shake, and then it's dinner time, and then you eat something before bed, and then it's like, hey, I wonder why I'm not losing weight. Listen, you have to go against the grain if you're following the standard calories in versus calories out model, and it's not working out for you. If you keep doing it expecting different results, that is literally the definition of insanity. Listen, it's okay if you miss a meal. Your body can handle it. Your body is super smart and it knows what to do. Will you get hungry when you fast? Yeah, you might get hungry. I'm not saying that that's not the case, but it's okay. You're not gonna die. As mentioned earlier, 1 pound of body fat is about 3,500 calories. So for most people, 1 pound of fat will actually last about 2 days. And most people have more than 1 pound of excess body fat. So if you're 15 pounds overweight, you could technically fast for 30 days and you'd be completely fine. The world's longest fast is 382 days, in case you're wondering, and the guy lost a mind-blowing 284 pounds living off of water and multivitamins, and he didn't suffer any complications. The best part is his loose skin shrank as part of the process. He was a completely different person by the end of it. Now, I'm not asking you to do a 382-day fast. Even I think that's crazy. It's unnecessary. A daily 16, 20, or even a 24-hour fast will give you tremendous results, and I've seen it work time and time again with my private coaching clients, and that kind of transformation is life-changing. Now, if you're someone who's been struggling with losing weight for years, you've tried every diet under the sun, you've cut the fat, you've gone on a calorie deficit diet, you work out every day, but you just can't seem to lose weight, or maybe you're feeling stuck because you've hit a weight loss plateau, you can't seem to get out of it, you feel like life is just passing you by, you're missing out on opportunities, and you realize that it's time to get one-on-one professional help, then feel free to reach out to me. Head on over to my website, newbiefitnessacademy.com/coaching, read through the page and its success stories, and fill out the application form for a free consultation. If I think that we're a good fit, then I'll personally reach out to you directly. Now, if you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a new video every Friday. And hey, leave me a comment below if you found this video helpful or if you have any questions about this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the comment section. Virtual high five.